G'day everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Daily Endeavours for the 17th of December. I'm Jackson. As always, there'll be time codes in the description for if you're just looking for one endeavour and you want to skip all the other stuff. This set here, it's looking really good. There's no DLC requirements. There's some options here that are really easy. My advice would be to do Guild Trader, Active Skill Styles, and Refining Raw Materials if you can just buy a little bit of that. World Bosses, it's pretty good. It'll probably just take you 5 or 10 minutes. Just depending on how quickly you can get to your world bosses. Battleground match, really easy because even if you lose it completely, like it counts. The only problem I have with Battlegrounds is that when you join the queue for this, sometimes you can take quite a while finding one. Like I've had queue times that have been upwards of 30 minutes to an hour. You know, you can do all the other options in that time before you even get to a Battleground, and they take 15 minutes themselves. So it's a fine option, but just expect it to take longer than the other options here. Okay, so I'm going to start with purchasing an item from Guild Traders. I'm going to show you firstly, well, I mean, not really firstly, is it? But how to get the absolute cheapest item on a Guild Trader. So this is an example here. You're just looking for it's got like the flag and then the market balance icon. That's what you're looking for. Every major town in this game has a Guild Trader. Of the starting zones, you've got one here with a way shrine that you start with by default. In Stonefalls, you've also got one next to a way shrine by default. So this one here you start with, you just come up here and there's another Guild Trader over here. Daggerfall's the best if you're looking for the absolute cheapest option, because you've actually got 5 here next to a way shrine that you have by default. But every major city has like a bunch. So Deshan, for example, has 7. So yeah, you just gotta, it just depends on what way shrines you've got available, but just coming over here. Most of the time you'll know Guild Traders based on their tabard. So this one here is just like a white with the I'm trying to remember what icon that is. It's not Meridia, is it? Yeah, anyway, so open up this one. So these are player guild traders. So this is stuff that players sell. So if you search, it'll show you just all like a random assortment of items. What you want to do is go to total here, click this, and what it'll do is it will give you the cheapest like total item that you can buy from that guild store. So you can just prevent having to spend a lot of gold on a single item. So here you can just buy this for 11, 20 gold, all this 27, and you can see there's just still a shit ton of really cheap options here. Now with this option and with the refine raw materials option, the refine raw materials option, obviously if you don't have any raw materials to refine, if you've done the weekly already and you choose like harvesting resources from the world, you've probably got enough stuff for that to be able to do it pretty easily. But if you just want to buy this stuff, you can do that too. But just be aware, sometimes these raw materials will be quite expensive, because in these cases, it tends to be that I don't know if there's any here. Oh yeah, just an example here, 4,000 gold for this stack of ribitite ore, and that's a pretty competitive deal for that amount. So yeah, just expect this to be a lot more expensive, but this is another good thing to look at. Woodworking, I think, is the best raw material to look for, because even though this one's being sold at the same amount, they're around 9 to 10 gold each, so they're half the price that you'll get for ore. And ore's the second, and then clothing's bad, and the jewelry crafting is by far the most expensive. It's like 10 multitudes more expensive than rough wood usually is. I'm just going to search these guild traders here. This is Skywatch. There's 5 here as well. So just looking through, you got a bunch here for 10 gold each. Now, I will put in the description a early game gold farming guide. It's very simple to use. It just takes like, you can get a couple hundred gold in a couple of minutes. And what I would do is look at this thing here. So this is Tamriel Trade Center. So this website here, I'll make sure it's in the description. What you can do is just pick the server that you're on. If you click this here, it shows you the consoles. So you can pick this, and then yeah, up here it just shows you which mega server you want to use. So I can just go rough maple and just have that there. Go advanced search and just go amount. Just go anywhere between like 20 and 50, and just start buying cheaper lots of stuff. So unit price goes 0 to probably 10. And this way, instead of having to fork out big amounts of gold for quite a lot of rough wood, you can get a stack of 50 here for 200 gold. And yeah, it's in Deshaan, so it's an area that's in base game. We've got base game here, DLC, base game, base game, base game, base game, base game. So you've got a lot of opportunities to get some really cheap stuff here. And yeah, that's the only one for rough maple, but you can just go, you just type rough, and then go, just make sure you set the items to materials. And that way it should only give you rough wood. You might get like a couple of like pulverized things or whatever, but yeah, mostly should be wood. And yeah, as long as I put like the maximum is 10 gold, you can see there's still quite a few stacks here of just like no more than 50 items. And you can see all the prices here. It's fuck all. So that video in the description that I put in there, the early game gold thing, it will probably take you like at most 5 minutes getting this much gold. So when it refers to refining 5 times, it just means 50, because you can only refine 10 items at a time, and yeah, you just want quantity 5. So that'll be enough for completing this one here. And yeah, like I said, lots and lots and lots of guild traders. 5 here. You go to Deshaan, you've got 7 here. You've got, like, in Marbrook, you've got 5. In Vivek City, you've got 6, I believe, or 7. Yeah, 6. Now, if you don't have the way shrines here, and you want to like unlock them more really easily, use home tours. I've got another video in the description for getting to using homes to like get around quickly. So for example, you've got the 7 in Craglawn, but Craglawn you don't start with any way shrines here, so you can use home tours to get here. As soon as you enter the zone, you'll unlock Belkarth, and it's just, yeah, get much easier from there. Yeah, same thing with like some of the places that you don't have any way shrines naturally, like House of the Silent Magnifico, to get to the ones in Sentinel, which are pretty good usually because they're so close to the way shrine. These tend to be pretty competitive guild traders. Reaper's March, same thing. Fleet Creek, getting to the Rolkar guild traders, which back in the day was like, these were one of the most premium guild traders in the game. I think Vivek City is nowadays, but yeah. Alright, so the other option that's easiest is the skills with active skill styles. So what this means is anything with this icon here, if you click on this, it shows you the reskinned skill styles, just recolored skills, that's all it is. So if you don't have any of these, don't worry, there is a very easy way to get your hands on one. With World, Soul Magic, Soul Trap Orchid Purple is by far the easiest one to get. It will only take you a few minutes, and once you've unlocked it on one character, you unlock it on every character. So to do this, you need to complete the second era of scribing. In order to complete this quest, it only takes a few minutes. It's just like, you don't even have to fight like the boss in the area. You can run through most of it. And yeah, there's like no crazy puzzles, no difficult fights or anything. So in order to start this off, you need to find this big lad here, Ernard. You can find him in the front of the major skills across the capital cities of the 3 alliances. You probably can find him in Vivek City and stuff like that, but as far as I'm aware, the easiest place to find him is in Wayrest in Stormhaven. In order to get here, again, you want to use home tours to travel over. So, Gardener House here. This one, travel here, go down this way, go around this way or around this way, whichever way works, and you just got to come down here in front of the guild, major guild on the western side. He'll be right here. Talk to this guy, you'll get teleported into a like an instance area with a bunch of the major guild people. Just go through there, only takes you a few minutes, and then once you complete that quest and learn the basics of scribing, it will give you Orchid Purple. Once you've got this active, you just need to find a way to use the skill. So I'll go through in a second how to easily do that, because the Scholarium, which you unlock as soon as you complete that quest to start scribing stuff, it's got a couple of target dummies which you can use the skill on, because with this one here you need a target. That's the only real annoying thing. But if you end up completing the whole thing for the scribing quest line, you'll halfway through the whole thing get to a quest called the Wing of the Niche. Once you complete this quest, you get Vigor. And this is one of the best options, because once you have this active, just make sure before you cast it that this little paint icon is right there, because that means it's active. With Vigor, all you have to do is activate this thing. So let me just drop it here. And that each one of those counts. So you don't need a target for this one, you can just cast it a bunch of times. The only thing that's going to get in your way is how much stamina you have to be able to cast Vigor a bunch of times, but that's literally it. Okay, so this is the Scholarium. You unlock this as soon as you start off the scribing questline. This room right here is what you're looking for, the training room. After you complete the wing of the second area of scribing, you'll be able to enter this room. Now, from what I've seen, as soon as you complete the quest, you can't actually enter in here. You have to leave the zone and come back, and it like resets the whole place, and then this door is opened. In here, you'll just find some inanimate armor, and you can just attack this stuff here. So what you can do is just go to World, Soul Magic, Orchid Purple Spell Trap, struck it on, and just cast it a bunch of times, and you're good to go. So yeah, you just need to cast that 10 times, or as many times as you need after casting Vigor. And yeah, that's it. So with World Bosses, this icon here indicates that there's a World Boss there. So one of the quickest to get to in the game is in Glenumbra, with this wayshrine here. So while you're doing your guild traders, you could also, after you've done that one, jump down here and fight this guy. But it's 2. The biggest problem with world bosses is, if it was just 1, it'd probably be okay. But when you kill one world boss, if you just sit there waiting for that one to respawn, it takes 5 minutes. In that amount of time, you could just do all the other options combined. So I don't really usually bother with it. But yeah, this one here, it's not the easiest world boss, but it is without a doubt one of the easiest to get to, or one of the quickest to get to in the game. Now, companions will be very helpful for doing world bosses, especially if you're going to try and do it on your own. They're not necessary, but they just make it easier. It's like breathing with 2 nostrils instead of 1. It's just easier. So while I'm waiting to show you Limb Scatter, the one at Western Overlook, probably the easiest world boss to fight in the game. My opinion, it's Lesser Circle over here in Alika Desert, starter. I'll show you this one after, but especially if you're a ranged build, this is just mindless. The only thing you have to make sure you do is just don't let the don't interrupt the boss, and you'll be it's so easy to stay to get through this one, because if you just let them do their channeled attack, it just creates like an AoE around them, and the AoE is quite small. And so you can just walk out, and then they don't do anything for like a second and a half, and then that AoE explodes, and then they'll then do like a conal attack that takes a second to go off, and it's like the cone is very small, so you just and then by the time they do that, a couple of seconds later, they'll do the channeled attack again, and yeah, if you're a ranged build and you can circle around them, it's just so fucking easy. This one here, Lost Caravan, I've heard this is really easy too, but I find this to be harder than Lesser Circle. Deshaan, the Abomination, is also pretty straightforward. Like, you can set this guy off balance and heavy attack him to knock him over, but he hits a bit harder than Starter does, because he doesn't do many conal attacks. Another pretty easy one is Brahma's Grove, the Netch over here. With this one here, it's the same thing as with Starter. It's also the same thing with Limb Scatter. He does a very similar thing, but Limb Scatter hits like a fucking truck. These two here, they don't hit that bad. Yeah, this one here, you just don't interrupt them. That's the thing. That's a problem that you're going to have with companions. They tend to interrupt almost immediately, so you don't really get any value out of the boss just sitting there. But at the same time, you can just grab yourself a tank companion, and then the boss is just much easier to deal with at that point, because you don't have to focus on keeping yourself alive, just a companion. If you want to quickly back to back, there's also Green Shade, Rootwater Spring here, and a Reconnaissance Camp. These two here are very quick to get to between. Just like with anything though, if someone's come through and killed them, you're gonna have to wait for them to respawn. That can really become a pain, especially if you want to do these two like immediately back to back. It's probably not that much value in it. You can also do back-to-back stuff with things like Brahma's Grove and Strifestorm over here. Just go one way shrine, then back to the other. But just be aware, Strifestorm I find to be a fair bit more challenging than Brahma's Grove. about on the same level as Western Overlook. Maybe a little bit slightly easier. Mainly if you interrupt this one, that is. But the good thing about Western Overlook is you'll usually have quite a few people here just waiting. Right, so you don't really have to do much to this guy. Just make sure you get a few hits in. I think as long as you deal 3% of the boss's total health, you'll get it'll like participate. I know for items it's kind of like that. So yeah. There you go, that's one. So now either you can go somewhere else and find a different world boss, or you can just wait here 5 minutes and wait for the boss to respawn again. So yeah, with this guy here, the only real issue you're going to have on your own is that his attacks do a shit ton of damage, but they come out quite irregularly or infrequently. So what you can do is just... It's very similar to, if anyone watched the fucking ridiculous 50-minute long video I did the other day, Thoat, when she picks up the sword, she gap closes to you. When she has the sword, she attacks much slower, but it does more damage. So all you have to make sure you do is like block the attacks when he throws them out. You'll not use that much stamina because he does it so infrequently. And it will really mitigate the damage he does. So that's a great way of staying alive on this fight. But yeah, this guy is definitely one of the tougher bosses when it comes to fights in this game. Or world bosses in this game, at least. There's not really much else I really need to go through. Maybe I'll just cover the ways to get to these bosses. It's the same thing with the guild trader for Alika Desert. If you want to get to Lesser Circle, just use these houses here through home tours. Just come down here. There's just a lot of sand in the way over here. With the one in Stonefalls, Farmer's Grove, this one here, just either of these houses is pretty quick to get there. And yeah, Western Overlook, you literally don't need anything. You've got this way shown by default, so you just travel a little bit north, and you'll get there. Green Shade, if you want the double up, just go Boulder Tree Refuge, or you can use the Boatswain from Oridon, take it to Gratwood and then to Greenshade. You'll rock up here, over here, where the Boatswain is here. You just travel a little bit east, over here. Either get this way shown or this one, just depending on which way you want to travel from which road, and then just travel over here and get to your world bosses up there. And then, yeah, if you got any other questions, you know the drill. I'm always here. But I'll leave it there. So thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for your support as always. See you next time. Take care for now.